Self-improvement has become a case of scarcity, and we've forgotten where we actually started and why we started. We started because we didn't want to feel like absolute garbage. We didn't want to feel like a loser. We didn't want the girl to keep ignoring us. We didn't want to keep living a life where we knew for a fact that we could amount for greater things, but we just never did it because our environment wasn't really up to scratch. Our friends weren't really supportive of it, or you were sabotaging your own self. And all of these things were a case, and that's why we started self-improvement. It's to stop that. It's to stop feeling like shit. It's to actually feel proud of yourself. But what's happened is that because we haven't actually done what I'm going to tell you about today, we've just blindly followed everything. You've blindly followed the advice on morning routines. And the thing is, you have no reason behind it. Why should you wake up early? Besides the fact that, it's supposedly productive. Why should you do these things? What is the end goal? We have to prioritize your purpose over the process. If your purpose is the process, and your purpose is trying to just meditate every single day, then you're always going to walk down a path that you'll never know where it leads to. And you're not going to know whether it leads to your happiness or your downfall or whatever it is. And look, I'm sure meditation will help you. But what I'm talking about is what self-improvement has become. When we've lost ourselves, and when you don't know yourself, when you don't know yourself in the sense that you can't just let your voice talk, like you're in a dialogue, right? Because throughout the day, you drown the noise with random music or conversations or random situations that you're thinking about from 2 weeks ago, or what you should be doing in a week or tomorrow. And you're constantly churning information that isn't really helping you, that is actually deafening yourself. And if you can't listen to yourself, then how are you ever going to know what you actually want? That's why so many people are so purposeless. That's why so many people feel like they don't really have a direction in life. It's because they haven't actually given themselves the space to organize their thoughts or even hear their own thoughts. It's become a scary thing. And even people on self-improvement don't know why they're doing it. Because not at a single point do they question why. Right? The why, the thing that made you start to begin with. So let's think about that. This is the actionable step. Why did you start self-improvement? For a lot of people, and for like myself, it was during COVID. No one was around us, and we just had a lot of time for ourselves. And that's actually what catalyzed our growth to begin with, time with ourselves. Isn't that crazy? The fact that your whole self-improvement journey started because you just had like an extra 8 hours at home by yourself. Like you had an extra year just for yourself. And that's how the greatest period of your life started. It's because you were able to hear your own voice and you thought at that moment, I don't want to be this person. I know I was meant for greater things. You are meant for greater things. And I hope that this will reassure you, because here is the thing. What you're going through is exactly what a champion goes through. Champions have hard days. A matter of fact, this is what I was thinking. I was doing judo and I genuinely had a bad day. I just wasn't landing the throws that I wanted to. I was fatigued. And at the end of the session, I was going to beat myself up over it. And then I thought, you know what? I bet you this is what a champion would go through. And I bet you that the more I go through this, the more likely I would be to that position. And if we give ourselves the ability to actually think about the end goal, right? The only reason I was able to get out of that rut, that negative feedback loop, was because I was able to think of the end goal. If the whole time I was simply thinking about the task in itself and the success of the task, whether I did well in the task, it was never really going to achieve anything. I was never really going to feel any sort of happiness. And that's okay. You can feel happiness. This idea of not feeling happy through self-improvement is absolute garbage. But even then, it's not really happiness that we're looking after, right? We're not really looking for happiness, we're looking for peace. Saint Seraphim of Sarov once said that acquire inner peace, and 1,000 souls around you shall be saved. And that's truly what I believe in. And inner peace comes from the content that you feel, that you know for a fact that you're going down a road that you're gonna get to. That if you just take it a step at a time, where you know for a fact that you are where you are meant to be, because sooner or later, time or no time, you are gonna get there. I remember hearing Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about this, and he said, how do you trap a two-dimensional person, right? A stick figure. What do? You draw a box around, right? And that's it. And you're thinking, oh, why can't you just step over it? But they can't. They physically can't step over it. And that's the difference between a two-dimensional creature and us, a three-dimensional creature. If there was a box around us, we'd simply step over it. So how do you actually trap a three-dimensional creature? You draw a cube. And the interesting thing was what came after. This is what he said. What about a four-dimensional creature? They would simply say, step out of it, right? Step out of the box. And what they're talking about is stepping out of that time. A fourth dimensional creature isn't actually constricted by time. So they'll just exist in a place where they were never in a box. Now, stay with me here, stick with me, because what I'm trying to tell you is this. Imagine yourself as a fourth dimensional creature, meaning time doesn't really matter to you. That you are who you are 10 years ago and 10 years in the future. This means that you've already achieved all of your goals. This means there isn't actually a box that is constricting you. If you live your life like you've already got the goal, your thought patterns in and of itself will make sure that you achieve it. Between the person who has achieved the goal and between the person who wants to achieve the goal, who is more credible and who would you listen to? I would say the person who's already achieved it. So why would you not live your life thinking that you've already achieved your goal? But Chrono, what happens if I no longer want to do anything because I've already achieved it? What's the point? I'm supposed to be ambitious. Here's the thing. It's up to the individual and their definition. Because one person can say that they are a champion, but never actually do anything because they are arrogant, because they think that because they're a champion, there's nothing to win, there's nothing to do. On the other hand, a person who has a better definition of a champion would say, because I am a champion, I have to work, I do need to work, I learn every single day, and they treat life as a lesson. It's up to your definition of what success is. And if you want to genuinely achieve something, I would argue that acting as this almost like fourth dimensional extraterrestrial creature, where time isn't really a constriction for you, will actually let you achieve your goal a lot faster than you saying, I want to get a six-pack, I want to get rich. Because what you tell your brain is what you're going to be. And if you're going to identify as a person who wants something, you will forever act like a person who wants something. It's like wanting tomorrow, because tomorrow's never going to come. Because wanting something is never actually going to achieve something. That's why every single successful champion, UFC champions like Jon Jones, Conor McGregor, Mike Tyson, all of these people have gone through rigorous self-hypnosis, rigorous self-belief and affirmation to the point of delusion, that they were able to achieve their goal by simply living their life like they've already achieved it. Living day to day like they've already achieved their goal, feeling it. And this is what I do. Whenever I'm washing my dishes, I listen to these laws of attraction videos and motivational videos. I truly think that when you do not have the energy to do anything else, when you want to procrastinate, when you want to watch YouTube or do something else that you know for a fact is bad for you, in that moment, the best thing to do for yourself is to do a chore, go for a walk, and listen to a law of attraction video, specifically the law of attraction. Not some grind and let be, not some discipline and garbage. It's specifically a law of attraction video, and it can be Conor McGregor, it can be Jon Jones, but these are the people that have constructed my mind to the point where I genuinely feel like not a man alive could beat me. And is that delusion? Yes. Is that going to help me? Yes. Why believe in something that isn't going to give power to you? Give yourself power. I'm telling you right now that you can literally feel like you've achieved everything that you possibly ever wanted to and genuinely get there faster. And you're telling me that that is arrogant. Who is the enemy here? Who is actually sabotaging who? If you can live your life like you've already achieved the goal that you want to, and how you do this is simple, right? Whenever you have free time, rather when you're walking, when you're doing chores, when you want to do something else like procrastinate, relapse, that is when you listen to this. You listen to this and not just listen to it, you envision the life that you want. What does your life look like? If you can't even do that, you're never going to be motivated. Motivation is dopamine, and dopamine only occurs after you've done the task. You only get the dopamine after you've eaten the chocolate. Think about life without ever eating chocolate, right? You've never tasted a chocolate in your life. Would you at any point want to eat chocolate? No, because you've never tasted it. And people will maybe tell you that, eating chocolate's nice, that eating this is nice, you should try it. But you've never actually tried it, so you were never motivated to do so. Self-improvement is the exact same thing. You have never actually achieved the success that you wanted to, that chocolate, that dopamine. But you hear everyone else telling you about how great the chocolate is and how great it is, but you've never actually achieved it. And you're going from this position of, oh, I want to eat chocolate, without ever actually having eaten it and never actually having the motivation to do so. No wonder you're directionless. No wonder you don't have the motivation, because not at a single point in your life did you actually imagine the goal that you have and envision yourself living it, not from a third person perspective, but from a first person perspective. And if you can do this and you can live your life day to day, like you've already achieved the goals, and you constantly go through life with this genuine conflict that the life that you've envisioned isn't there right now in this moment, then you will achieve your goals and you will change. You'll genuinely feel the improvements of self-improvement and you won't feel stuck. Hope this helped. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe and comment, just tell me what you feel about it.